Hello, everyone. Hey, there I am. Hi, everyone. Welcome back for episode, I believe we're on 7 for Standing Stones. And yeah, I'm excited. We ran into a body that had been drained of blood and hung in the trees last week. So, you
Like
know,
you do.
I'm sure that's perfectly fine. No reason to panic. Yeah, it'll be fine. Before we find out what happens with that, though, I'm gonna say a few words about our sponsors, and then let everybody introduce themselves, and then we'll jump into it. So first of all, sponsors. Let me get the links into chat. The first one is Fundamental RPG. Looks like this. It's the system we use for this particular game. And you can pick up your own copy on Amazon if you want the physical book, or if you prefer the digital version, you can pick up a copy at coffee.com/Raven, like it says at the bottom of the screen. You can just add /shop to the end if you want to go directly to the store. Otherwise, there's other cool stuff to look at there as well, including Intrepid, which is adventuring gear for real life, apparel and drinkware and accessories and cool stuff like that with a tabletop theme. So lots of cool items there. Go check that out as well. And then finally, Die Hard Dice. They recently sent me this really cool Spellbinder Fey Queen set. It's a metal set, and it's my very favorite out of all the dice I have, which is saying something. You can pick up your own set at dieharddice.com, and then if you use the code BlackFeatherJune, all one word, capital B, capital J, you can get 10% off your whole order. And then finally, if you want to catch up on this show or others on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. All that out of the way, we'll go to the top left with Zan. Tell us a little bit about Fen and yourself.
Yes. I am Zan, or Insanity TTRPG. I'm a professional GM and content creator for 5e World of Darkness, powered by the Apocalypse, and a whole bunch of other really great games out there. You can find me here now, as well as on a Tactics channel Sundays, and starting not this upcoming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. Wednesdays there as well. Over on the Coffee Nebula with Polished Scripted on Tuesday and Friday mornings, American time. And over on my channel, starting next week with a wonderful project I'll talk a little bit more about later with the wonderful Calliope. That'll be starting next Monday, so big things coming up soon. So stay tuned. And I am playing Finn Karst, who is still primarily made of, water and anxiety. Not a whole lot else still. He is a person that is made almost entirely of water, has to actively move or, kind of turns creepily still, and may be slightly more resilient out here than they expect it to be. Yeah.
Awesome. Next, we've got IC Historian. Tell us a little bit about Veshna and yourself.
Alrighty, hey friends, I am IC Historian. IC Historian, all the places on the internet that I feel like being found. I am I'm a teacher, and I play games on people's channels when they let me, so that's super convenient for me. I'll be playing Veshna Brevik, who is, deep in the young teenager feels at this moment. 14 years old, it's like a lot happening. And Veshna's sort of the Harriet the Spy character that thinks that, she can talk her way out of anything, and has had several instances that have gently informed her that she cannot. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're figuring out a whole bunch of stuff now that we're on the other side of the wall, and I'm really excited.
Awesome. Next, let's hop over to Jay. Tell us a little bit about Beckney and yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Jay, or Alien Jays. I'm a role player and a game dev, and you can find me on itch.io and Twitter at Alien Jays. Tonight I'm playing Beckney, who is a goblin raised as a pangolin, almost said armadillo again, and is the sibling to Pyron. And is kind of just not really sure where they are or what they're doing, or really I mean, aside from being with Pyron, why they're with all these other friends, aside from they're their friends, and everyone in town is an awful adult, so they're trying to figure themselves out. And I mean, maybe this is the first time they've seen a dead body, so we'll see how that goes.
Awesome. Looks like I'm next. So I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various things that I do, most of which are tabletop related or adjacent. My link tree in chat there is linktr.ee/the Raven, like it's spelled below my face here. And then I play Cauliflower, who goes by Callie. She is your stereotypical shonen anime protagonist. She's not super bright, but she likes to fight, has a heart of gold, and she also has a tail. And now that she's got access to magic, she can fly around and shoot, energy beams out of her hands and stuff. It's a lot of fun. She tries really hard to help, and sometimes that's not actually helpful, but her heart's in the right place. So that's me and Callie. Pat, tell us a little bit about Pyron and yourself.
Yeah, I'm Pat. I'm a tactic on places online like Twitter and Twitch. I play games places like here, like this place, and my place with my name. I'm playing Pyron. I also just almost said Armadillo now. Bipedal pangolin theater nerd aspiring stage magician who totally didn't have his heart broken and is also in the angsty feels not several hours ago in game time, but yeah, doing very, very fine and not convinced that his magic is cursed.
Totally fine, yeah. I don't know, that makes sense. Next we've got Hannah. Tell us a little bit about Sage and yourself.
Hi everybody, my name is Hannah, or Whoa Hannah, and I'm not tired, you're tired. Today I will be playing Sage, who is a fawn. They like to think of themselves as the voice of reason in the group, and also pacifist.
No,
And
yeah,
maybe
absolutely the voice of reason.
And maybe side-eyeing Zan, because Zan got cool healing powers, and I'm maybe a little jealous. But time to have some existential horror by being greeted by death. It's fine.
Awesome. Yep, this totally fine. This is fine. Last but not least, Calliope, tell us about yourself in this really cool world and take it away.
So hello, I'm Calliope. I am a middle school teacher and a PhD student and a nerd mom. And when I'm not here, you can find me on Zan's channel with IC Historian also. And we are starting something called Gaming the Systems, where we're going beyond the D20, and we're going to try out 10 different RPGs in 10 weeks, 7:30 on Mondays Eastern time, and we're starting with Monster of the Week next week. So it should be fun, and we're really excited to have some fun and help Calliope get her PhD. Yay! But today we are doing something even more important than getting our PhDs. We are coming face to face with death. When we last left our miscreants, our little intrepid band of people beyond the playpen of the Null Field they've always lived in, they had recently discovered that the Lucrocata that they had met in a previous episode was now hanging upside down by its toes, drained of blood. And that's where we left them. So, go ahead.
Did we get confirmation that it was that Lucrocata?
We just did!
Oh god!
I think we had last time. There was something about the leg that was
Right.
familiar.
Yes, it had a distinctively unwell leg. And so that is a familiar looking leg. So while we're talking about the Lucrocata, it's hung up by wires or ropes of some kind that are very thin, and it is upside down, and someone has drained it of all of its blood, but not like a vampire. It hasn't been like it's not like 2 puncture marks. There's like a trough underneath. In New
Yeah.
England, we have this thing called maple syruping season. Sort of that vibe, but blood.
Yeah. I think I know what this is. I don't know that Callie does.
And so there's sort of like a big trough, and then underneath are some like, you would imagine like little funnels. So maybe somebody could put like a jug underneath or something, some sort of container, and take it away. And they have taken away the blood, and they have not taken away the body. And that's where we are. What do you do? So I love it. So I just want to say I love the abject horror. Sometimes there's a reason people tell you not to go beyond the
It's
standing
true.
stones.
Is anyone
Yeah.
describing this to Beckney? Or are y'all just kind of like shocked by it?
Nope.
It smells. It
Okay.
definitely smells. I mean,
I
it's
think-
in game time. This hasn't been like really. You only saw that Luke Ricotta 2 days
Like
ago,
I was gonna say at most.
right? So this isn't like many days of decay, but
Like
still,
it kind of smells
it's,
like off.
it's got that delicious. I've been completely drained of blood smell.
Sickly sweet.
I think Callie like just walks over to Beckney and like puts her hands over their ears and just goes, "Oh, that's really creepy and gross."
What?
Sage? I
Yeah.
think you and I need to go and look at this, because this isn't, and this is happening outside our home. So
Yep. Okay. It was. We helped it. We did the right thing. We helped it. Why is it up there now?
I don't know. It, but it is.
Yes, we should get it down, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we should get it down.
I think at this point Beckney's kind of like pawing at Callie's hands, like I don't. What is it loud?
And Callie moves her hands and looks down at Beckney's. No, it's really disturbing, and I didn't want you to hear any descriptions of it because it might scar you.
I can tell it's like something's wrong because it stinks.
Oh crap! Right. And Callie like
Yeah,
pinches
like I think they're
Beckney's
just like
nose.
pointing at their nose, like. Okay, great. Now I can't smell, and I can still hear you.
I don't have enough
Callie-
hands.
We actually could probably use your help getting that down, Kelly.
All right. Pyron, can you
You don't.
help?
Beckney's just as old as the rest of you.
Oh right. All right. Well, sorry, Beckney.
Just because I'm
Just 'cause
tiny. Just because my dad's a pangolin.
Yeah. Callie just awkwardly like
wait.
pats Beckney on the head and it goes to help.
Wait, this isn't the kind of thing that somebody would set up as like a trap or anything, right?
I don't know.
I think
Would
Beckney's
they-
looking like it's kind of leading the pirate. Like, what is it? Tell me what it is.
It's so it's so it's like those stories they would tell us, but not like the boring school stories, more like the Uncle Toot stories.
Oh.
Why would someone do this in the first place? They've clearly gone to great effort.
I've never.
How did someone do this in the first place?
Yeah, this thing was pretty scary. I mean, I wasn't scared, but I would think it was scary.
I don't.
Which means there's something scarier than that out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could it be like hunters? Maybe like hunting parties go out to get game and stuff, right?
That's I don't think I've seen anyone with wearing that kind of fur. But also they left the meat. So
That's true.
What good is the blood? Like does the blood
Blood
is it good
pudding's a
for
thing,
something?
right?
If it's-
Is that what that is? I don't know how you cook things.
I don't think it's anything good.
They are
So
magical
as you-
creatures.
As you are talking, the birds are definitely coming back. Like now that you have settled down a little bit, some of the kind of carrion crows-ish kind of creatures are starting to sort of, you're no longer as threatening as you were when you sort of arrived. And so they're sort of starting to fly back and kind of look at you and look at it and start to poke at it a little bit.
Is there anything on the ground, like tools or discarded anything?
So, why don't you roll? So yes, there is. So why don't you roll to see kind of like how much you would know about that? So, sorry, I'm looking for the right thing.
Would that be education?
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's a 16.
Okay, so as a 16, you see that this is, I mean, this is like an established site, right? Like this, like trough thing, like lives here, right? Like this setup is like a setup.
Okay.
And I think you can see that there is a pathway west, like a pretty established pathway west. And I don't think there's a lot of tools left here, maybe like a little bit of refuse, but you can see that this is a place where this work may have been done here before. Like you can see other pieces of rope and, you know.
Yeah. So I
So-
definitely think that Veshna kind of is kind of freaked out and just sort of starts like mechanically like going about, not really comfortable sitting still, so just starts like kind of investigating like the knots and like the type of rope or wire or twine or whatever that's used, and like figuring out like the height and like, okay, so it's like stringing up a huge animal, but like, you know, it, people have to, or whatever has to be real, you know, like just sort of very mechanically like looking around and trying not to think about the whole thing. And I think she's like scribbling down a bunch of stuff in her notebook, and I think she kind of looks up when Fen talks about a trap, or Pyron talks about a trap, and she's like, I don't think so. I mean, there's like 7 cut ropes up here. It's really kind of weird to do the same random trap the exact same way 7 times. And there's a path. I mean, like, normally if you're going to set up a trap, you don't, like, walk to it a bunch of times. Because it's, I mean, we're in a forest. This has to be, like, walked around quite a bit. I don't know. And she kind of like goes back to like looking at it.
I guess it did kind of try to eat us. This is cruel.
I mean, it didn't really try to eat us. It just wound up somewhere that it didn't belong and lashed out because it was.
It did try to
afraid.
hypnotize us, though.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
did-
that's it.
it
That
Did say it wanted to eat us.
Wait,
well, we want to eat. Well, you know, y'all want to eat like other things too. So, I mean, isn't that just kind of the course?
Maybe
did
that-
somebody kill that big thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They killed it real bad.
And they've methodically tied it up and drained it of its blood.
But then left like the meat and the fur behind, which is kind of strange.
Well, depending on how drained it is, they might be coming back soon. They might have left it up and we're just at the end of it.
And in our lessons, all of the boring school that I've, maybe gotten random trivia blurbs of, did I can't remember our old goat teacher's name. Our old goat uncle.
Was it Larkin or Duncan?
There's Larkin and Duncan.
I
Yeah.
can't remember which one taught us.
I know.
I think it's
Duncan's
Larkin
the one that
us.
taught you.
Was
Yeah.
it? I thought Duncan was a brother. Anyway,
But did Duncan ever do people use this kind of blood
No,
for anything?
Okay, so Larkin's the one. Duncan's the one that lives at Days Red.
that's what I thought. Okay.
So no, this is not something that you have seen before. You probably you all live in a village where there's probably like a butcher, right? I mean, you eat meat. Well, some of you eat meat, some of you eat bugs, but there are people in your town who eat meat, and so there's, especially I think Veshna has, seen a lot of meat for the tavern and stuff. But I think you know that this is not the way you butcher an animal. Does that make sense? This animal has definitely been set up in a way to drain it of blood, not to butcher it, which is very strange. And that is not something that you're familiar with.
In any of my knowledge of cryptids and stuff, would I be aware of leucocotta blood having any kind of properties that people would want it for?
Why don't you roll education?
I can't. Why don't I? $23.
Okay. So, I don't think that you would necessarily have thought about that, but it's certainly, I think, reasonable to think that somebody would, that sort of path you were thinking about a magic animal and draining it of blood, that seems reasonable to you based on what you've said. But before you get to do that, I would like you to roll and this is you, Sage, I would like you to roll a seeing.
Can I make a case for hearing?
Yes, a hearing. A hearing would be better.
I've critically failed. Let's use one of them advantages.
Okay, that sounds
Actually, this is kind of in character to be so distraught. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, I critically fail.
Okay.
I'm so distraught.
All right, fair enough. Beckney, then I'm gonna try it on you. Earring.
Okay. Nope, that's a 12.
Okay,
Yeah, Beckney's too busy trying to get information, listening to everyone talk.
all right. Never mind. Keep going. We'll try
Somebody's
again
got to
later.
hear it.
You
Do you
know,
need
I
everybody to try to hear?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't mean to try to push us to like one direction or the other, but staying here is kind of the worst option that we have, because the animals are starting to come back, and if we stay here, the person that's capable of that will probably be back at some point. So we should either go back or we should follow that trail, and if we're gonna meet them, at least not meet them here.
Do you think the birds know them?
No, but I'm afraid the birds aren't the scariest thing that want to eat this.
No, but what if they know them?
Maybe they do. But I don't...
Do these birds talk? Like, that thing talked. Hey, birds, do you know anything about what's going on here? Is there any answer?
I don't think these birds answer, no.
No, these are regular birds.
Maybe you could get the birds like you did with the fish. If you could coordinate some sort of routine where they could provide information for us through song and dance. Maybe they'd be better at that.
Didn't bad things happen the last time we played music out here? Like an hour ago?
That was the last time I played music out here. Maybe Vesh does this better.
Like through all of this stage, it's just like eyes locked on, staring at it.
So I think Veshna's like about to like, she's like trying to figure out how to untie it, and then she kind of stops. And I don't think we can take it down.
No.
Because whoever did this is expecting it to stay here. And if we take it down, they're gonna know that something that's not them, that's not a bird, is out here. And I don't know.
That's true.
I mean,
it's like Uncle Toots always says. Like, if you don't want to get caught, don't leave any tracks.
yeah. And I think she's gonna kind of like sort of straighten up and look like up at the Lucrocata, like I guess like is it upside down? So kind of look down at like its face and kind of like trying to be like an adult, but like awkwardly turn around and sort of be like, well, I don't know if we got your name, but thanks for not eating us. That was really nice, and we're sorry about the like throwing of stuff and the bad jokes. I don't really know if that hurt you, but you didn't eat my friends, so like kind of was like kind of like a give and take sort of situation, you know what I mean? Like we kind of had to figure out what to do, but I'm sorry that like I think her voice is like she's like breaking, and like I'm sorry that like this is what happened. And whoever did it is really mean and terrible, and they really should go learn the steps to respect at Pyland Bridge Memorial Elementary School, because I'm pretty sure somewhere it said that we don't like do this. Sorry. I think she's gonna like take out like one of the dolls out of her bag, like not the doll that her dad did, but like one of the little dolls out of her bag, and like tuck it like with it, like I don't know, like in a weird like a little kid way, like trying to like just sort of like meh. And then she's gonna take it and then go get a flower and put it there instead.
And I go and be like, May the earth cushion your body and the sky welcome your spirit.
All right, so
Callie,
we're all hearing.
Gotta go. Turn around.
Okay, we're all hearing again.
Callie walks up to it and just says, "I'm sorry I didn't get to fight you. Rest in peace," and then walks away. Oh no. You do have an advantage, Beshna, if you want.
Was it just Sage rolling hearing, or was it everyone?
Well, we're gonna start with Sage, and then we'll
Oh,
try
sorry,
with
never
Becky, because everybody else doesn't really have a good reason to hear this.
That's fair.
Sage and Beckney have the good hearing.
I will
Except
say
today,
that
apparently.
I'm
Finn is not going over to it.
gonna use my advantage to try and get that hearing a bit better because it's quieter. It's kind of
Hey!
critical success.
So 35.
Okay, great. You hear a voice sort of come through the trees, and it's almost like the leaves are talking to you, and it's really authoritatively and very convincingly telling you to go north.
And which way is north? Like visually, like
So the
is there anything like
So south of you guys, some distance south is the edge of the cliff. West is the path. Sort of eastish is the direction of like where the tiny taser snakes were. And north is not a direction you've gone.
Is that the direction towards Fenn's, like, family?
That's sort of northeast. I'm sort of imagining that the river sort of wraps around this, and it's almost a rectangular piece of the cliff. So,
I guess like Sage is gonna turn north and be like, I think Fen is right and we gotta go. And I think we should go that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go that way now.
Oh.
And Sage like really like not as emotively as normal, just like literally dead voice just starts walking away.
Callie sort of runs after Sage and sort of puts an arm around their shoulder and says, "Hey, are you okay?"
Faunus said if I met it again, I had to help it. But you can't help that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
I'm gonna go-
technically we didn't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sage is gonna tuck their head into Callie's like neck and just like kind of cry a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Callie just sort of like, it's probably a little bit awkward because they're walking, but it's like sort of lets them sort of cuddle in against their shoulder and pats their head. And she says, "Well, I mean, look at it this way. I mean, technically, we didn't really meet them again. We just met the sort of the shell. So I'm sure whatever, like essence or soul or however that works, I'm sure they're in a better place. So and don't need help there."
Thanks, Callie.
Sure. And yeah, she just keeps letting Sage do that as long as they need to.
Are the others coming?
I'm
Yeah.
making tracks.
Before
Question.
Sage just leaves.
Well, no, as this is happening and you're having this moment with Callie, there is this very insistent voice. Maybe a couple insistent voices that are in the wind. And Beckney, I'd like you to try hearing again too.
Sage's ear keeps twitching.
No.
You have 2 advantages.
I do.
Okay, that's
You
fair.
don't have to use them now, so you don't hear anything.
No, I think Beckney's too busy like trying to listen to if Byron's saying anything.
Well, and I think maybe it's a sound. I mean, maybe you all hear this small sound, but it doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah, like it's just whistling.
It's
through the
like
trees.
a woods sound.
Right.
And you hear like this other kind of sound, but it doesn't really mean anything to you. Sounds like maybe a catbird or something. But you guys hear, but Sage, you hear it, and it's very compelling. Are you going to share any of that with them, or you're just going to keep going towards the sound?
Maybe as we keep going on, like, and Sage calms down a little bit, like, as a point of curiosity, is anyone else hearing the forest talk? Like, right now?
Callie
No.
kind of leans in conspiratorially and just whispers, "What is it saying? I just hear birds and insects
It says I need
and
to.
leaves."
It says we need to go north.
It's Sage. It's saying that the voices are compelling you to come. They are saying you have 2 legs, and you need to come get it. Get the thing that they have.
And Sage kind of stops for the first time. Is like, Am I being compelled? Nobody else hears this.
I don't.
No.
It's
hear
telling me I
anything.
have to go get something. I
don't hear it, but if you do, I believe you. We can go get.
What if it's
the
something
thing.
dangerous again?
I
Uh,
think it is. I think that's what we have to assume everything is here.
What if I'm going
Callie.
crazy?
Maybe it's part of your magic thing. And Callie like puts her fists on her hips and is like, "And if there's anything dangerous, then I'll punch it."
Hey, thank you, Callie.
She just gives like this determined nod.
So, being fully aware as we are that apparently something in the forest is speaking to me, and or maybe all of us, but I'm the only one who understands it. How do we feel about finding whatever that is, or not doing that? Thoughts, team?
You know, we've got to go one direction, so it's just gonna be it's either this direction or follow the same path as whatever did that. So
I don't think I want to meet whatever did that.
Yeah.
And the voice is like, come on. Like, as you're having this discussion, it's like, oh, we have time, but it does not. You will wish to come.
Fine, shut up, I'm coming.
I think Beckney kind of stops in their tracks and just looks around at like where they assume the group is, and goes, "I don't like being told where to go. If I wanted to get told where to go, okay. So see, if I didn't want to get told where to go, I'd just stay in town."
Try rolling hearing one more time, Beckney.
21.
See? All right.
It's time, finally.
You hear a noise that you recognize it. And it's hard to place exactly what it is, but I just sent to you in Discord what it was. So
it's like it's like something I wouldn't necessarily know, but I would know.
but it's in your heart.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's this piece of you that it is very compelling to you, and it is not the noise that Sage is hearing. It is a different noise.
I think Beckney does a little like kind of like a physical panic. Like they do that like. Sage, tell me you heard that.
Heard what? I mean, besides the voices that just keep telling me, come on, you have to come get it.
Where is the noise coming from? That I'm hearing?
North.
North? Can I kind of tell how far it is, or is it just like it's just that way?
I think it's probably get close enough now that you're sort of like before it sounded like a catbird,
Right.
and now it's starting to get close enough that you can identify that it is something else. The rest of you, I don't think, have enough familiarity with this noise to know it's anything other than like a weird forest noise.
I think Beckney takes off at a sprint north and like, you know, like bumping into trees as they go, but they just start running.
Oh,
I'm running after them.
Yes, Sage is bounding. Yep.
Same. Callie's probably going,
yeah.
Beckney, wait.
And the voice for you, Sage, says it is angered.
Something's mad.
You were me two of you were left in the forest all alone.
Okay, we're coming.
So you come like careening through the forest, and you sort of stop in a clearing, and around you are probably 8 really, really enormous beech trees. Like some of the most enormous beech trees you've ever seen. I don't know if there's like beech trees where you live, but they have this like smooth gray bark, and they have leaves that are like, if you like drew a picture of a leaf, that's what it looks like. It's like that sort of eye shape with like little lines. And they're very big, and they give beech nuts. And they're
Are these the
they're these,
eyeball
like,
trees?
big trees. They're big trees.
Sort of, yeah. Yeah.
So, and the nuts are sort of like barbed on the outside, but on the inside there's like little nuts. I don't know.
That might be
That's what they are.
birch trees that you're thinking, Hannah.
All
They're
right.
not birch
If by
trees.
eyeball trees you mean what I think you mean.
Yeah,
The trees
no,
will have eyeballs in the bark.
no.
Yeah, that's a birch tree.
Okay.
Yes. So, oops, I just sent that to Raven, but I meant to send it to everyone. It's a beech tree. Beeech.
I'm not sure, but the tree in our background here might actually be a beech tree.
Ooh, that would be weird.
Ominous.
Ominous.
You have what some of the biggest, they are by far the biggest beech trees you have ever seen. But what's more interesting is that in the center is a flat stone in which there is a baby screaming its head off.
What kind of baby?
A goblin baby.
Ooh.
And it is screaming its head off. It's all wrapped up, and it's
Yep.
totally pissed.
And I think Beckney, like, without, you know, questioning whether the others are behind them, they start kind of beelining into the center, listening for the noise. And if they get kind of near it, they'll reach out and start trying to, like, pick it up and, like, just do the really gentle, like, oh, it's okay. And I don't think they know a lot of goblin words. They probably know, like, you know, like this word and that word, but nothing to really string a sentence together. But I think they start kind of murmuring what they remember from being a baby.
It's so cute.
Why don't you roll? What would you roll to comfort a baby?
Empathy?
Empathy. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
empathy. Can you roll
Well, it
empathy?
just so turns out I got a plus to empathy. That's a 10. I'm going to use an
You do have
advantage on that,
advantage,
actually.
there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is
Baby.
important.
Yeah. Okay.
A 17.
Go for it.
Okay, slightly better.
Okay. The baby is kind of upset, but considerably less upset. Like there's something very comforting about you and familiar, and the baby is much happier. And congratulations, you can add a baby to your inventory. But yes, so Beckney has picked up a baby. Now what do you do?
I'm gonna walk over and just stare down at this baby.
Yeah, Callie runs right up and is like making silly faces at this goblin baby and like, oh, it's so cute.
It is super cute. It looks
Player
like
me
Beckney.
is terrified right now, but Callie's loving it.
It looks like Beckney. I mean, not like exactly. They aren't like necessarily related to each other.
And then
but
it looks
kind
like
of,
a goblin.
Well, right. It looks like what you could imagine. Like, you can't really remember what Beckney looked like when they were little because you were all little too. But it's like, you know, it's got big eyes and like pointy ears and like a couple weird tufts of hair, like babies have like weirdly growing hair. I don't know. What do goblins look like, Beckney?
Oddly enough, I don't think they look dissimilar to how Beckney looks in terms of like the hair, the head shape, the ears, and everything. I think those all come out more or less fully formed.
Yeah.
So the head just does not look like it suits the body. Like it's just too big and too like normal. And then the rest of the body is just kind of like normal human baby style.
Right. And it's so, you know, and it's got those kind of big eyes and it's do goblins have pointy teeth?
Not when they're born.
Okay.
I think they slowly like lose their baby teeth.
It has
and then
like
the sharp
one,
ones come
yeah,
in.
maybe it has like one tooth. And it's just sort of like, you know, it's in that like my head is really big and I look around phase. And so you have a baby in your hands.
Is this normal for goblins? Do goblins just abandon their babies willy-nilly?
I'm not the right person to ask.
I'm aware.
I think Beckney is definitely like feeling the face to try and feel like, you know, what does it look like? And kind of like peering really close at it to try and see, you know, if there's any kind of identifier whatsoever.
Which it finds hilarious. Right? It like when you put your face really close to the baby's face, the baby finds that funny.
Guys, we got a baby.
Right.
I mean, what is everyone else doing? Beckney is like totally engrossed in this child.
Sage is going through like everything they know about just babies in general, trying to figure out like, okay, babies, what do they eat? Heck,
So when you did that, Jay, what I heard in my head was, "You got a kid."
So
this is not the direction I expected this episode to go in.
So Sage, you, I think, as you're thinking about that, I think you become very aware of a presence behind you.
In which case, Sage does the deer stiffening thing, and like their ear twitches.
And you turn around and you see something you have not seen before. It's a creature that has come out of the beech tree. Its arms are on its head, like branches, and they come around. It has four eyes, one on each side, and it moves sort of like the way roots would move, like across, and it comes directly out of the tree. And there's actually several of them that have come out.
Are they dryads?
So Cullinan would say yes, they are dryads, but they're not. They're more tree-like. They're not like a hot babe who lives in a tree. They're like.
This is what I'm down for. More horrifying, like, spirits, less hot babes.
Right. Well, they have
Hot, horrifying?
they have alien, very alien to you. What you understand? They're not really humanoid. because they're trees. So their arms are up here, like where the branches would be, and then what would be feet are like just many branches moving, and they have eyes all around and branches all around, because it wouldn't make sense if you were a tree just to have eyes on one side.
Can I go ahead and do a gut feeling?
Yeah.
So it's like a biblically accurate angel version of Dryad.
That's exactly a wonderful way to describe it. Thank you.
I
Fabian.
love that. That's amazing.
I have rolled a 15 on my gut feeling.
They are wonderful. They are so, for you, Sage, like everybody else, I think is probably pretty horrified to see this completely alien being pop out of a tree. But you, they are just the oldest things you have ever seen. Like way older than your parent. They are impossibly old, impossibly wise. They are clearly the voice that brought you here, and they do not seem to have. They do not have malice. They are like you are in their space, but they're not mad about it. But that's like what they're here because you're at their house.
Kind of like tentatively walk out to greet the one that I've noted, like the one that's behind me.
Sure. And I think it sort of blinks, and I think its skin is very bark-like, you know what I mean? Like, you get a sense that the urgency that it had was not for itself, right? Like, this is a being that has lived maybe 1,000 years. I mean, this is a really old tree, but it recognizes that the thing the baby is not going to live that long, especially if no one's taking care of it. And it sort of blinks at you and says to you, like in that sort of whisper voice, "It is appeased."
Oh, okay.
It is noisy.
Yes. How long has it been here? Sage is clearly talking to nobody. Well,
Right.
clearly talking to the tree thing.
I was gonna say the rest of us still can't hear this, right? It's just
Right.
these terrifying looking creatures just like closing in.
Right. They're just sort of like,
Even without like hearing the conversation, I do think Callie's just gonna blurt out at these tree things. She's like, "Are you where babies come from?"
I bring you gifts from the river.
They just wanted us to get the noisy bait. They just wanted us to get the noisy baby.
No. My elders said that if I ever saw one, to give it a gift.
Go ahead then.
We give back the baby.
No, we
Ah,
obviously are keeping the baby.
Right? Why do we want?
We can't leave a baby here; it would die.
And
I think Beckney tenses up at that, but doesn't say anything.
Finn's gonna flow kind of river-like over to the Dryad and like kind of ceremoniously like turn into a little bit of a fountainhead and just a few drops onto the kind of branch, onto the kind of root area. And like we'll pull away and reform and go, that's water from the river. Maybe a delicacy. This is where you live. I hope you enjoy it.
this is a great gift, Riverbound. And I think you can hear it say that to you, Zan.
Oh, thank you.
Is this your river?
Where here? Is this
That you
the
gave
river over? Yes, that's from my river. Yeah, it's me and my river. Yeah.
It doesn't taste quite right.
Yeah, it's there's not really a lot of magic in it. It's under the bubble. I'm sorry if it's not to your taste.
And it's like, no, that is not my intent. It is not quite right for you, but a great gift.
Oh,
Will you
thank
take
you.
this noisy 2 legs? It is a sprout.
panic
It
with the
has n-
sage.
It has no roots.
How do you know how long it's been here?
Not long.
Is there a place where 2
8
legs
sons?
settle?
8 sons?
8 sons! Oh my gosh, I must be starving.
It does not like bugs.
Yet.
Yet.
Someone
What kind of fucking goblin baby is this?
A baby goblin.
A forest dweller came and offered it bugs. It will drink some, I don't know how they would say, like, beech nut milk. It appreciates fine non-dairy milks.
Real quick, Zan, you got another advantage thanks to us hitting 10 retweets on the game tweet. At 20, somebody gets a disadvantage. So, keep retweeting that tweet.
So afraid.
It has not grown roots. It has legs instead.
Is there a place where 2 legs live near here?
No. They came through some eight sons ago and left it here.
Okay, everybody, we gotta find out how to feed this baby because it's been here for 8 days.
Have they tried giving it bugs?
Yes, and it didn't like him.
I think
I think Beckney makes a face at Byron.
I think feeling kind of useless, right? Like Veshna is just gonna dig around in her bag and pull out like a bag of the granola. I think that she probably packed, and she's gonna hand the baby the doll that she was gonna give the Lucrocata, and then she's gonna put pick up I imagine a dried berry and a ground something whatever soft in the granola, like the dried berries or whatever, and try and give it to the baby but without choking it.
I don't think it can chew that. Milk, do we have anything that we could make that would approximate milk?
It must have. Its roots begin at its mouth. It must have liquids.
Do we know how to make milk? That's what babies eat, right?
Yeah, and I think these creatures are
We're gonna
willing
need a
to
cow
give.
for that.
No, they're willing to give you their beech nuts to make. I mean, I don't know how you make almond milk for real, but
Question: would Beckney or Pyron know how? Would Larkin have taught us?
sure.
Larkin does really weird, obscure, boring topics.
Whether or not we remember it,
moss.
that's a whole different thing. But
And this is how
I
you
love
make
that.
it.
I think one time when you were being total tools and you got caught, the
Yeah.
mayor made you write a 10-page research paper about non-dairy milks.
oh my god, And we had to do like a science fair of 2.
That's
Of,
convenient.
like all different kinds of non-dairy milks, and so you totally know how to make beech nut milk.
I just thought of all of our 2-person spelling bees and science
Same.
fairs.
It's the saddest thing. And they,
really
our
is.
mayor dad would probably make us put it on as like a show for everyone. Oh God, what an awful childhood. So I think Beckney is kind of muttering that to Pyron. Like, do you remember when we had to make that awful the milk stuff?
So Pyron's actually pretty close to the edge of the circle still. Like I think the space that Fen was giving the dead body we found, Pyron has been giving this baby.
Oh, fair. See, I think Beckney assumes Pyron's right next to them, so they're kind of just like muttering off to the side. Like, Pyron?
I don't know. Would that be an education roll to see if we remember how this milk is?
Sure.
Get it.
Critical
no.
fail.
You do have 2 advantages if you want to use one.
I got a
No.
16 on it.
I want
Okay,
this.
so it's crying again.
Uh-huh.
It's hungry. It hasn't eaten much in 8 days, Pyron.
Kind of amazed it's lived 8 days, to be honest.
Well,
Goblins
no,
are
I mean
hardy.
they have been feeding it.
Oh,
I
I
think
guess.
goblins
fair.
are hardy, and they've been doing their best to feed it and get
Right.
other members of the forest to come and feed it. But this is
How many other groups of children have they tried to pawn this baby off on already? That were
I don't know how
smart
many
enough to
kids
say
can
no.
I'm not sure how many kids can understand Dryad.
Yeah, tough to say. Is good.
Kelly has an idea. So she's gonna look at everybody and go, "Oh, I have an idea. Hold on." And she would like to start looking for birds' nests. Like fly around in the trees and look for a bird's nest for eggs.
Okay, I was like, birds don't have milk. Please don't milk a bird.
I mean, it's just a question of how hard you squeeze.
Anything's milk if you try hard enough.
No.
Okay.
You know, I think it might be time to take a break. While we think about that.
As we all undergo a panic about having a baby suddenly.
Eggs, like baby
Oh.
bird inside, just unfertilized eggs.
Just
You don't
some
know till you crack
unfertilized-
them open.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my worst nightmare.
So let's take a quick break and we'll come back. We'll figure out what we're going to do about this baby and how you're going to interact with the biblical dryads or not. And,
That's
you
a
know,
great phrase.
so, and we'll see everyone in a few minutes.
Yeah, we will be back in 15. Go grab snacks and drinks and whatnot, and yeah, we'll be right back. And we are back. With a baby. A goblin
No.
baby.
No.
Sadly, yes.
So, I think one of the dryads, the biblical dryads, is sort of
Evening.
approaching Beckney
Goodness.
and sort of like waving at Beckney and trying to give you baby advice in like it
What
It
does that
doesn't-
sound like?
it is not self-cleaning. So it just sounds like a lot of trees. It sounds like a lot of tree noises. And it's getting closer and closer and closer to you with its like big eyes, and it's gesticulating wildly because it's trying to get you to understand.
And I think Beckney is like moving away from the noise, cradling the baby because they don't know what's going on, but they're like, that's a noise, and nobody else seems to be wigging out about it. So,
I mean, it looks a little menacing, guys. I mean, Sage and Ben can kind of hear it, but you know what it's trying to say. But everybody else is just seeing like
Oh,
biblical dryad menacing a
I
baby.
think
was
it's
gonna
worse
say-
for Beckney because all it is blurry. It's just a
Right.
blurry moving thing.
Do we
Callie
have to-
was gonna run off and look for eggs.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, Pat. What were you
Um,
gonna say?
We're gonna collect beech nuts.
Do you want me to roll naturalist for that?
Well, can you just wait 1 second? Let me resolve
Sure.
this Beckney thing, and then yes.
Okay.
And I think it turns Sage and it says it does not listen.
Different languages, I guess.
And they sort of, all the sort of dryads sort of like talk amongst themselves. And in not very long, I think a jackdaw comes and sits and looks at you.
Hello.
And the dryad says, it will help them listen for a gift.
Does anyone want to hear what the dryads have to say? You can pay the jackdaw to translate. Apparently.
Has the one still been like aggressively assaulting my sibling?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if that's just our interpretation, or I didn't know if we had to roll to see if that's what we thought.
No, I think that's sure. If you want to roll, you certainly can.
Oh, I don't care, because if I don't roll, then I can just assume the worst, which is fine.
Yeah, just assume. I like assuming the worst.
Yeah, I've with against all of my anti-baby urges, have run and put myself between the tree and Beckney. Just like brandishing my guitar at it.
Iron, they're not gonna hurt us.
It just looked crazy. It was waving everywhere and it was coming right at Beckney.
Oh, noisy.
It's just trying to talk to you.
What can't understand it?
I know, I told it. It just is giving you baby advice, honestly.
Can you tell me what it's saying?
I mean, I can.
And Beckney's just giving this thing like the biggest stink eye they can possibly give. Like just.
The one with thick bark is aggressive.
I just
Could
saw
it-
that
could it-
one
could it
branch
give
move. What did
Beckney
it
some-
say?
Could it give...
So that's what the dryad says to you about Pyron.
Pyron, chill out. Can you give my friends some space? They don't understand you and they're a bit antsy.
So in the same time, Raven, you're flying around looking for eggs. Have you said this out loud at all?
Yeah. Yeah, Callie said eggs. Let me see if I can find some eggs before she flew off.
Yeah, and I think the jackdaw is not impressed with that. Just like,
Though, to be fair, she did say that and fly off before the jackdaw showed up.
fair enough. But I'm not sure the jackdaw is super into that idea. Is going to be super into that idea. Take
Probably
my
not.
children. So it's just sort of hopping around and kind of giving you quizzical looks.
While I'm
Us?
flying around.
Or Callie.
I think it's giving the rest of you quizzical looks, and yeah, it probably. I mean, if you're flying around, I think it's, watching that too. And I think everyone's like, this two legs is an unusual bird. But yeah, all right, go ahead and roll a nature check.
I have a whole 1 in this, so this can only go well. 15's actually not bad for me.
I think I would say you can find some eggs, but you would not be able to tell if they're fertilized or not. To be fair,
yeah.
most eggs are fertilized.
Oh, I know.
Or
Callie
they
doesn't
get
know
kicked
that.
out. Right.
Callie's just gonna scoop some up and bring them back, yeah.
Yeah, and the jackdaw is horrified.
And Callie's just gonna be like, "Oh, there's a bird. Okay. Veshna, I found eggs. You know how to do the cooking thing. Eggs are usually like liquid before you cook them, right?
And I think that one of the dryads is like, will you eat the children of birds?
What?
Will-
Baby bird?
will-
No, eggs.
Will the loud sprout eat the children of birds?
Callie, I
don't
think
So so you can't actually hear this, Callie,
Oh,
unless
okay.
you guys pay the jackdaw, and then it will translate for you.
Fuck that
Sage-
jackdaw.
And
well, I will pay the jackdaw in granola and seeds.
it would probably prefer something shiny.
Shiny. Okay.
Which Sage would know? Jackdaws
Yeah.
like shiny things. They're
Right.
they're
Callie has
does anyone have any
coins.
like coins or shiny things?
yeah, like
Mhm.
honestly, they just like shiny things. They're in the crow family,
Right, right.
Where is it now on the character sheet? Where did it go? Currency. Yeah. Callie's got 12 coins. How many
We
would
could
Sage
give-
like?
Just one.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna say that the jackdaw just sort of translates everything that they say out loud.
That makes that easier.
Not gonna do it in a jackdaw voice. Ah!
So yeah, Callie's just like insistently holding out these eggs to Veshna.
I think they might be fertilized eggs, Callie.
I don't know what kind of eggs they are. They just got them out of a nest.
These are the children of our neighbors.
These are eggs.
Birds come from eggs.
Is the goblin?
Some eggs.
Is the goblins? Wait, is the goblin the child of their neighbors? Do we just have to take it home?
Excuse me. Callie's,
They said-
Sprout? The sprout
drops
has
at that,
been
by the
here
way.
to. The sprout's mother will not return.
They were saying that there isn't a town or anything nearby.
Did you see where its mother went?
Away from here.
Do you remember what direction?
There were too many sprouts. and some had to be thinned. When the soil cannot contain all of the trees, some of the trees don't survive. There has to be a balance. And there
You
were
don't
too
get
many
to make that
sprouts.
decision.
Mm.
It's not your decision to make.
This is not a decision that we make. This is why we have called for you to make this decision. This sprout is not a sprout we can care for to grow. You must care for this sprout. It is a different kind of plant than us. Good thing. And Callie, you're putting the eggs back like awkwardly, just kind of putting
Yeah,
it back while
well, as
everyone's
soon
looking
as-
at back.
As soon as Sage says that baby birds come from eggs, Callie just sort of jaw drops and goes like, "Oh crap!" And takes them back.
They're just gonna give you a little pat on the head when you come back then.
That gets a happy smile from Callie.
You didn't answer Beckney's question. You just said a bunch of other stuff, but didn't answer.
Do you remember which way they went?
It is not a matter of remembering. Two legs will travel where they go. We stay here. So the two legs go north, but may not stay north.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Veshna, how you doing on them berries?
I don't know. So Veshna sort of is like,
Yeah, give a roll. And I think that like sort of one of the big hulking dryads, comes over to Beckney, and the jackdaw is like on his shoulder and it says, You will create nutrition for the sprout with these. And like is trying to give you beech nuts. They're just as mystified by this baby as you are, if not more. They're not baby people.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Like this thing
I
doesn't
love
just
them.
stick in the ground. I don't understand.
What do you mean I can't just like plop this in and it'll get its own
Right, and
nutrients?
it's in the
Pour
nature
water
of
on
trees. I mean, there's only a certain amount of resources to go around.
Mhm.
So it's like, I don't know.
We don't scream like that. I don't get it.
Right, it's very loud.
Yeah, I think Beckney would motion to Pyron to grab them since they've got their arms full with the baby. They don't say anything to the dryad though.
I'm just
Pirate, get the beech nuts.
I'm putting them in whatever little sack I shoved my umbrella. All right, because we stashed a go bag before we left the mansion.
We did, yeah.
Or, no,
Veshna.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Pyron.
Oh no! So I was just saying I'm putting the beech nuts in with where like my bugs, but I'm also taking a few of those out.
Could use a
Veshna,
snack, yeah.
why don't you roll a nature and
I did. I
let's
got a
see how-
17.
Okay, yeah, sure. There's berries.
Do I know whether they're good berries or bad berries?
Yeah, with a 17, sure, they're raspberries.
Okay, so I think Veshna's gonna again, feeling extremely useless. Veshna is going to take. I imagine she's got an extra apron or something. I don't know, what, just sort of part of her daily wear. And she is going to plop them in it and sort of like you would squeeze them. She's gonna kind of mash them, try like a 14-year-old kid be like, well, I don't want to touch all of them. Someone's gonna eat it, so I'll touch the outside of the bag, and that totally makes it better, So she's gonna kind of squeeze them and try and awkwardly juice these raspberries for the baby.
to be fair, they sell this exact product for babies.
I don't know.
The awkward juicing product, where it's like a little bag with a handle and you put random crap in there and then the baby chews on it and like gets a taste in its mouth. So like it's a good idea. I mean, people have made a lot of money off that idea.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of what Veshna is gonna try and do, because like Veshna is like the only child who's lived essentially in what is a glorified dive bar her entire life. So like, I think the last baby goblin she remembers is Beckney.
Right.
And like maybe the last baby anything she remembers is Pyron. Like, so she's kind of like, they seem really attached, so we'll go with it, like, it's like, I'm not happy or sad, but I'm happy if you're happy, like, kind of thing.
Does Callie have younger siblings?
Yeah, Callie has Brock.
Oh,
I think
that's
Brock's a little older.
Was it Brock? I guess Brock was the older sibling. She just treats him like a younger sibling. That's right.
Right. I mean, you live on a farm. You could have a lot of siblings. I don't know.
Don't forget about Bruss.
Yeah, I feel like she probably has a lot of older siblings, but I think she's the youngest.
Okay, I like Bruss.
Bruss is pretty great.
Bruss is the
Good old-
other
Good old
older
Russell.
sibling. Mm-hmm. Brussel. Yeah, and Kale.
Yeah.
Russell and Kale. I think they're twins.
But yeah, I think Callie's probably the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Okay.
I think Veshna is just going to try and give the baby as much raspberry juice as possible.
And I think while Veshna is doing that, I think Beckney's like probably setting it down so that they're not having to carry it while it's getting juiced. And they're gonna start working at these beech nuts to try and like milk them or press them, I guess would be the way to do it.
I think she's just going to stand over it, like squeezing it. Because I imagine this baby is not quite dexterous enough to do it itself.
Right. There's a lot of sort of.
Right. Yeah. So I think she's going to kind of like a little out of its reach, kind of aim almost, like hoping to get its open mouth and make like fun faces at it.
Yeah. Okay. I think the baby digs that. The baby seems to like having. Babies are in general sort of nearsighted, and so I think it likes having faces. All it's really gotten to look at recently are beech trees with many, many eyes. So I think it's pretty much digging on any kind of humanoid face. Probably likes to pull your tail if given a chance.
Yeah, I think she's gonna kind of allow it because I can't imagine it's like, I mean, she's kind of a scrappy kid, so I can't imagine that it's particularly
right.
Like, so I think she kind of like dops the to like distract it so she can get more berry juice into its mouth.
So I think one of the biblical dryads is sort of watching you, and it will be quieter, and we will hear the forest without the sprout crying or yelling, I think. But it is good that the sprout is returning to its soil with you.
I think you can see sort of Veshna's ears perk up as she's processing the metaphor.
Right.
And she's gonna say, yes.
It will not live here, planted in this soil.
No. Planting baby two legs is not a great idea. It's frowned upon in all two-leg cultures to plant the living.
It's a metaphor. I think they're just using the words they're familiar with to.
And he's just gonna kind of look at Sage and be like, "Doing the best I can, friend. Doing the best I
You're
can."
doing great. You're doing great. You're doing great. I love
Kinda
the
soak it all
raspberry
in.
idea. You're doing amazing.
And so
Yeah.
I think, and maybe, okay, I think they kind of give it up on you. And so I think they'll go over to Zan and sort of like put their big eyes in your face and be like, if the sprout requires resting when the sun is gone, you can rest by a beech tree here. And they
Oh,
will
see that one I get. Why does he get to eat? I get the planting and the soil, and he gets. You can rest.
it makes much noise.
That's good. Thank you for the. Is a particular beech tree or just any beech? One of these or?
What time of day is it?
It can be it was morning. Then you fought a bunch of taser worms. Then you went over and found a dead body. Now you found a baby. Oh,
I think it's like-
mid-afternoon.
I was gonna say mid-late afternoon, yeah.
It's been a day.
It's been a day. So if the tree is too wide for the flying bird to the strange bird to hold around its branches, it will be wise enough to protect you.
Thank you.
Thank you. When I return to the town nearby, is there any word you would like to give the elders Cress and
Euglena.
what?
Euglena.
Cress, Euglena, and
Lotus?
and Lotus, yes.
Whispers in the wind. Lotus.
I've got so many elders. There's too many to remember.
Who even needs that many elders?
These are
And-
not your elders.
No.
Finn, you said you were born somewhere else, right?
They called you unexpected.
Yeah. It's because
Riverbound, you taste of a different water.
what? But I was from a flower in that cave though. So I think what do you mean?
They're having a really hard time translating what they're trying to say to you into words you'll understand. The soil of your roots is not the soil of your seeds.
Oh,
Have you met someone from Fens River before?
You are transplanted?
I don't think so. They found me, because they didn't really know that I was supposed to show up. So Bubbles kept me safe till I was kind of able to pull myself together and people found me. But no, I thought they always just said I was from the lily in the cave.
This is beyond our knowing.
Oh,
But The first tree was transplanted from another place. And now there are 8. And perhaps you were transplanted from another place. Because the water of your roots is not the water of your being.
Do I need to go back? Or what is that? What does it mean?
They don't know.
Oh. Okay, so nothing...
We are from here. And
So-
and there is much noise of the 2 legs.
Right. So is there nothing, no notes for Euglena and Cress and Lotus and Wisteria?
There has been a new birth in their river. We have seen the light.
Yes. Yeah, that was that happened.
A new seed has sprouted. They have
Yeah.
a new sprout.
They do. They do
This
have a new
is-
one.
It is always good when a new sprout takes root in fertile soil or water. You may tell
Yeah.
them that.
I will send your regards.
And I think the like really weirdest looking one of all sort of like puts like the one that you get a sense is the oldest one, puts its like one of its branches on your head and says, "It is not so bad to be a transplant."
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Reaching Elder. I appreciate it, and I will send your grove's kind words to the spreading elders as well.
And I think they're kind of like over it. You guys are like, this is so much conversation for them, and they're like, now go.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for saving this sapling. By calling us.
It is not a sapling yet, but when it becomes a sapling, perhaps you will return to show its growth rings.
Sure.
We will put it, give it the most fertile soil.
That
She
we
kind of looks
can.
around to see if, like, right? Yeah. Did I get it?
Yeah,
Sage's giving you 2 big
satisfied.
thumbs up.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna sort of go back into their trees, and the jackdaw is gonna kind of give you a wink. I don't know. Do birds have eyelids? Probably.
Yep. They do.
Don't
They
they have
actually
double?
2.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, they do. They have eyelids. Chickens have eyelids, so probably jackdaws have eyelids. And it flies away. And it is quiet in the grove.
How's pressing those beech nuts going for Beckney? How is that going? Do you think?
Well, what did you get before? 16, right?
For
in knowing-
Oh,
in
no,
knowing-
yeah.
Education.
In education? I think okay. I mean, I think you had to do. The mayor is kind of not like an easy parent, and
Yeah.
so I think you had to be competent at making milk from nuts. There's really just no jokes that could come out of this.
No, not at all.
We definitely had to display our prowess with this during some sort of skit where we had to like act
Yes.
it out.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, would you like some freshly squeezed tree nut juice? Just the worst
I-
acting from Beckney.
Nut juice is never gonna we might as well just. I teach middle school. We might as well just get all these jokes out right now.
I think that Vesha's gonna kind of like bring baby over to Beckney, and like knowing that the vision is like a thing, kind of assist Beckney in the feeding of baby,
Okay.
while treating the baby like it is a water balloon made out of Fabergé eggs. Like she's treating it like if a stiff breeze comes through a continent and a half away, that it's going to explode.
I
think
water balloon
Beckney's-
and just thought we were tossing it around.
Yeah, so did I. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. I
No,
think
she's
Beckney
treating
is-
it like one false move and the thing will disintegrate.
Meanwhile,
I just
Beckney
want
remembers
I just
being
want
a
to
baby.
point out
Go ahead,
that
sorry.
in the League of Children Who Are Not Your Friends, there is a baby handling class that you
Yeah.
that you absolutely did not take.
I feel like Veshna doesn't need to feel any more like a waste of space, but thank you for bringing it up.
Oh,
I think it comes I think that comes unasked for into your brain.
Of
Mhm.
course.
I think Beckney remembers being a goblin baby, and they remember being like indestructible.
Yeah.
So they're not like handling the kid rough. They're just not being like overly cautious with them. They're like, it's fine. Like they're babies.
Right.
Like I remember not dying a bunch when I did stupid stuff. So yeah,
It occurs to me that I said a lot in previous episodes about making a sling for Beckney, so I probably
That's
have a baby
right.
sling.
we
Yeah,
can
and
repurpose
I-
that. Yep.
And I think the thing about Beckney as a goblin, like Pyron, what everyone probably remembers, but Pyron, what you would remember the most, is Beckney was pretty indestructible and like a garbage disposal. Would eat pretty much anything.
Yep.
This one apparently won't eat bugs.
Yet.
Just not
Well,
have them
it doesn't
prepared the
have
right way.
teeth.
It's because you gotta wait till the teeth. You gotta like mush it otherwise.
So we're at the slug stage, not at
Yeah,
anything
say
with
worms.
chitin.
Yeah. No, worms are
Here?
I can
surprisingly
just
tough.
let me show you, and I
Are you
reluctantly
going to chew
go.
him up and puke
Yes,
him into his
I'm
mouth?
going to baby bird some beetles for this awful baby. I don't want to be a part of.
And
Alright.
I think Beckney's having some really awful flashbacks to when they were sick one year, and Pyron did that for them, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't want to remember that at all."
Oh my
If
god.
that's cool with you.
And I feel like that time it was totally unnecessary. Like
Yeah,
you were getting-
100%.
It was like soup.
Oh my gosh. I just want to tell you that I just rolled for how much this baby likes that. It was
Oh my
insane.
god.
Take it back.
Baby is so this baby appreciates. So now I'm gonna retcon a little bit. We never said like who came, but I think whatever animal that lives in this forest came and tried to feed it bugs, was definitely trying to feed it whole bugs,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yep.
it was not happening. But now that Pirate is chewing the bugs and spitting them into its mouth, this goblin baby's super into Pirate. It's very hungry.
Why does it look like that? It's looking at me.
I think it likes you.
And it
Why?
opens its mouth super wide, and you can see its one tooth.
Ah.
Yeah.
I think Beckney's trying really hard not to laugh at their sibling.
And I think as soon as you pull the baby away from Pyron, it starts wailing.
Oh god, here we go.
It just wants to be with Pyron and the bug mash.
The bug juice.
Aaron hates.
Yep.
It's so great. I love
Poor
it.
Pyron. It's been a rough 24 hours.
Babies are weird. That's what
Babies-
it's
yep.
like. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we think? What do we think we should do? What?
The tree things said north, right?
Yeah.
I think we should go north. Because somebody left this baby. Maybe. I think she's gonna sidelong, kind of quick glance to Beckney. and maybe it's left other babies, and it's not fair.
We can't take care of this. We can't take care of. What do we?
Neither can the trees.
Well, what do we do?
Well, we can definitely do better than the dryads at taking care of a goblin baby.
I mean, we have to try. We can't just, like, leave it.
Well,
It is
yeah.
for sure like crying and making Pyron spit food into its mouth this entire conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's, like, a lot of deep feelings going on, as in the background you hear just, like...
I'll just mute and keep acting it out while you also.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I feel like...
I mean, if you need a second, I can tap in.
Yeah, I think that Veshta is, like, maybe working some stuff out, and she's kind of like, no, we, like, this is ridiculous. Like, everyone, acts like we can't do anything because we live under this bubble. Oh, the bubble. You can't go away to the bubble because you can't do anything. But we go outside the bubble, and there's people draining poor creatures who couldn't even, like, protect themselves, and leaving them hanging upside down, and leaving babies with admittedly very nice and incredibly accommodating tree folk. And I'm sorry, but like you leave a baby in the middle of just a thing and just go, oh, that's cool. I wonder how the rock competition went. No, it's not fair. I mean, it's not fair.
It is true. You did miss the rock competition,
I
which
think-
is too bad because I think you all had pretty nice rocks that you
We
had
always-
found. And there's
we always
lots
had
of
good ones.
categories. There's like cutest rock, tallest
Biggest
rock,
rock.
Mhm.
biggest rock that looks the most
Inappropriately
like
shaped
you.
rock.
Yeah, and like
Uh,
what's like
That's a new one.
owner and rock similarities. Hmm.
I was a shoe-in for smoothest rock this year.
Yeah, and you missed it because you left today.
I think
Today was the rock competition.
was Veshta having this like kind of epiphany out loud, or was she doing it kind of internally?
Yeah, I think that Veshta, so I feel like, so above the table, I think Veshta has pretty much, like, put the pieces together that, like, goblin baby crying really loud, two-legged heartstrings, our village is a fucking goblin. Like, so, like, not only is this, like, so there's a little transference, like, kind of like how she was with Wisteria decorating Fen. Like, at this moment, Veshta feels like she's the most useless out of everybody. And she's like, this is the thing I can do. The steps to respect is the thing that I can do. And we're going to go tell these people that they didn't do it right and that they're not being fair.
I think Beckney comes over and just like puts their hand in Veshna's and just gives it like a really firm squeeze. And it's just like they're just nodding, like they don't say anything. They just come over and like hold your hand while you're going through it.
Yeah, I think she's
And then
just, like,
Pyron
trying to-
makes this super loud puking noise.
Yeah.
I have to say, Callie, I like that you're sort of hanging from a tree, being quiet, and I'm wondering if maybe as you do that, you're swinging back and forth and like handing bugs to Pyron. Like maybe you're also looking for bugs at the tree, because this is a lot of bugs that Pyron has accumulated in a small amount of time.
Well, we brought some with us too.
Oh, right there.
But like those are my good bugs. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want.
Don't use all the good bugs on the baby. The baby can eat trash bugs.
I don't mean to be insensitive. I don't think it's fair. I think you're right. It's not fair, but we don't know what their situation was, and I don't really know what you expect to get out of finding them.
I don't know what I want, but I know I want it.
Okay.
Well, didn't the tree say something about, like, the baby got left here on purpose?
sometimes, and I'm not condoning this, sometimes there are just too many people.
Oh, no, I wasn't necessarily judging them. I was just saying, like, if they already have too many mouths to feed and they couldn't take care of this one, I don't think taking it back to them
Like,
would help.
They're not
the baby
taking it
or,
back.
or them. I think that would just be
I
like
think-
painful for everyone, right?
They gave it up. They're not taking it back.
So is this our baby? Do we get to name it?
Becky kind of looks at Byron like, when did I get a name?
When did I? I don't know. Do I know? When did I get a name?
I mean, I think
Oh,
to
man.
be
They're having like an
Mario
existential
having names,
crisis.
I mean,
Callie
to
just
be
blurts out, I
fair,
think Beckney should name it.
yeah, and to be fair, you would Pyron and Beckney. I mean, every once in a while, this is how you get siblings at your house.
I mean, yes, but they're usually dropped in a place where they can actually be taken care of,
Oh, no,
as opposed to on a rock in the middle of the
Right, no,
woods.
but this isn't totally out of the like.
Oh no, for sure.
You know,
It's more the fact that they
It
were
was
just
made from a
dropped
flower.
in the middle
Stage
of the
was
woods.
made out of
right?
dirt, and you got like.
And I was
most of the time,
misbegotten and dropped somewhere, meaningless.
Most
just
of the
how life
time,
works.
pages just show up. So
That's a
yeah,
lot of this whole paper industry.
I
you
think
can't
I
fool me.
heard, Callie. I think I heard you say that for Beckney to name the baby.
Yeah, Callie blurts out that Beckney should name the baby.
Does anyone else say anything to that?
I mean, we can all put forth ideas if we want.
I think we should wait until it does something.
It cries a lot.
Can we call it Bug for
puke
now?
bugs.
I mean, if whatever its name will be, Little Bug is going to probably be a nickname now.
What kind of stone was it laid on? Because you said it was like laid on like or was it a stump? I forgot.
I said it was a stone. It was Oh Jesus, I don't know. Well,
Little
let's see.
trash bug.
So sorry, okay. I have to like nerd out on this. Would be like sedimentary rock.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way that the cave, like the cliffs are.
Of course,
so it
yeah.
has to be some kind of sedimentary rock.
Could
Like
be
sandstone?
I was gonna say it could be sandstone. Could be what else do we have up here? Because we have a lot of sedimentary. I'm trying to think. Shit.
Like limestone and shale.
Quartzite, I think, is a fairly sedimentary. Well, it's transitionary, I think, technically, but
Yeah. I mean, this is the hot content. You come.
this was like 20 years of my life. So
Baby Goblin, now we're talking,
Chert?
geology.
there's a
Dolomite.
reason. There's a reason I'm thinking of it.
I
How
think
about
that
just some limestone?
Okay.
That's limestone's a good one to go with. Limestone.
Okay. One
As a
second
side
here.
note, I do want to say that in New Hampshire, where I am from, we have igneous rock called gneiss, and we
Oh, I
have
love
igneous rock
gneiss.
called schist, and it is much to the delight of middle schoolers to walk around and say nice schist. With all
Hey,
the
nice
rock
schist.
it
that they
makes
get
fabulous countertops.
nice.
I think
Really nice
Beckney kind of puts their hand on the baby's head and just like idly strokes it and says, "Your name is Limebug for now." And they just kind of like pat the stone and then they pat the baby's head again.
It is mid-afternoon. You have been sort of dismissed from the grove. You don't you're not unwelcome there, but you're sort of done with, they're done with you at this time. And so what will you do? Where are you headed next with Limebug?
North is at least the direction that Beckney would like to go.
I mean, Finn is, if somebody starts walking, Finn's gonna follow.
I think at this moment, Veshna is just like super like in it. Just, I think like what you would call like emotionally overwhelmed. Do you know what I mean? And she's just like, maybe like in like just, it's been a lot. And I think she's just kind of like not like being dramatic or like tantrumy, but just sort of quiet and like going forward.
I think, Sage, you would know that it would be exceedingly rude to like sit down and have a fire in this grove. So if you know, don't do that. Don't.
If we do want to do a sit down and eat and rest, we have to go somewhere that's not here.
Yeah.
And I guess we're not going home, so we might as well go north.
Home's behind us.
Besh just gonna grab extra raspberries and add them to the like mush as they go along, just in case Pyron gets sick of baby birding it. But she's like totally in her feelings right now.
All right, and as you guys sort of trudge north, I think, Sage, as you leave, I think you would hear a very small whisper from the grove that just says that to the west is much death.
The west is what?
Much death.
And Sage will like turn around and as they're leaving, do like a little bow and then peace out and be like, so we're not going west. Ever.
What direction did we come from originally?
You moved. So
south
you
and-
moved.
Straight shut up.
Yeah. So I think you sort of you moved west. I don't know what direction you from now on. You sort of moved west and maybe sort of northwest a little to find the like dead Lucrocata, and then you went north from there.
Okay.
So
Northeast sounds great.
Yeah, northeast sounds pretty nice.
So really, like east northeast is the river again. So
Okay.
it's sort of like northwest is probably like the part where there would be the most other land that isn't the death place.
Was the death place the direction that the trail that led off from the Lupercato went?
Yes.
Here's a different question about maps. Knowing, like, especially Pyron and Beckney would have been trained and, seen maps before. Did we ever see a road that led out of town through the main gate? Like, would we have an idea where that is close to us?
So there is no information beyond the standing stones. You would know though that you are your town is like the northern point of the valley, and everything else is it's like a delta valley maybe, and everything else is sort of further down, further south, and eventually is the ocean, and there's like the big city with the university is down there. But where you are is sort of like a point to where past that becomes like a canyon more, and it goes up into the mountains. And so there's like a mesa-y, it's not a full-on mesa, but it's that idea of like a cliff way above. And then there's like the river valley. And so you guys are up on this cliff and you are probably a little west. No, I don't think you are. I think that you are probably like parallel north to town ish.
We should definitely make a map at some point.
Yeah, we could probably get some good
Mhm.
parchment or vellum or something. No,
Yeah.
wait, not vellum. That would be upsetting
That
to
would
me.
be- Yep.
No, but I think you would. I mean, I don't know how good Beckney is at telling distance and stuff like that.
Probably not amazing.
But I think above the table, I think that you guys are sort of approximately north of town.
Okay.
Is there any like? Can I feel any like any pools? Am I being pulled in any direction? Just being aware of the water and stuff.
Sure. I think sort of north. It super makes you sneeze. No. I think, yeah. So I think probably not too far along, you would get to a place where there's maybe a little hidden pool, and there's probably a beech tree there. So, do you remember were you able to interpret what the dryads told you about the beech trees?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if
How
we-
big are Callie's arms?
Yeah, so if Callie has a hug,
Pretty
like if Callie gives a big hug to the beech tree and can't put her arms all the way around it, it's probably old enough to take care of you.
I'm really glad someone figured that out because I was like, birds can't hug trees. What?
I thought we were taking the
little
jackdaw
wings.
with us.
Yeah.
No, they were referring to Callie because she flies.
I see. Speaking of, Callie is picking up sticks and branches and anything like along the forest floor as we go, basically making a bundle of firewood, so that we don't have to like damage living trees whenever we get to where we're going.
That's very smart.
Aww.
So I think in not too long, I think you would get to this place where there's sort of like a small pool and a big beech tree that is growing there. And so if you guys want to stop, you haven't rested in any sort of way since we started. It's been a long day. So you may do whatever you wish, but as your loving narrator, I might suggest that you take a rest and feed this baby.
We shall take a rest, and
Yeah.
Sage is probably gonna do some
Finn?
foraging and make a tree hugger out of Callie. Haha.
Finn has never been in water that isn't the river. So Finn's gonna go and just like stand like still for a second and then just kind of shrink down into the water.
Okay. Why don't you roll like a gut check?
Okay. Little
Or-
gut feeling. A little gut feeling. I can do
Yeah.
that.
Have a little gut feeling as a treat.
Yeah. What was that? 14.
It feels
you-
weird.
It feels weird.
It feels weird. I don't think it's like bad necessarily. I think there's a lot of frogs here. And there aren't a lot of frogs in your river because it's too fast. It's way too fast where you are. And then it's way too fast or too underground. So I think it probably feels really strange because I think this I think this little pool is filled with frogs. And
Real
I think
Final
that would
Fantasy
feel
IX imagery coming back.
right. I think that would feel really strange. Yeah, much tinier. The real tiny super frogs. But I think that probably feels really weird. Because they
Mhm.
move very differently than like bubbles.
Okay. Finn is just gonna exist in that pool for a little while. Like, check everything out. This is not moving water, so what's at the bottom? What is here? Things don't move.
Yeah, and maybe there's, maybe there is some algae. Maybe it is a little, like, maybe you get a little bit of seasonal allergies from the algae, because you wouldn't have algae either in your river. So I don't think it's bad. I just think it's like going and eating a kind of food you've never eaten before, that you've only sort of heard a little bit about.
Got it. Seasonal algae-ries.
Right.
Thank you. I was struggling so hard with that one.
Seasonal algae. Yeah. So I think we're gonna maybe leave our crew here. So let's do a little bit of a montage of some things that let's do a quick montage of some things everybody does this sort of afternoon and evening.
Sage will ask if anybody else wants to come help with foraging.
Callie volunteers like really quickly.
Like, oh, excellent! I can teach you about all of like what plants are safe and what's inedible and stuff. Yeah, and you can help me carry because you're nice and big and strong.
Yep, Callie is just super happy at that observation, and has run along to go help Sage without really waiting to see if anybody else is coming or not.
Here we go. Let's go.
Beckney's not letting the baby out of their sight. Well, hearing. So less of this and more like closing the baby's eyes and doing that.
Oh, I love it.
I wonder about the dynamic between Beckney, Pyron, and this baby, because like the baby really likes Pyron because Pyron's the one feeding it, but Beckney really likes the baby, and I wonder how Pyron would feel about. Usually, that's the amount of like attention that this baby is getting is usually the amount of attention that Pyron gets from Beckney.
I don't think Pyron even thinks that much about that, about getting attention from Beckney, so much as like, this baby's weird. I don't want any, like, I'm only interacting with this baby because it means a lot to Beckney. And I'm like, this thing is weird. Why does it? No, stay over there.
The solution is Beckney feeds baby.
Yeah.
That's the solution.
So yeah, if at some point Pyron
I've
is
not
sick
seen
of-
the math on that though.
Yeah.
He's still doing it.
I would take under consideration the idea that Sage probably has a mortar and pestle.
Yes,
with
I
them as
do.
well. You need
But
to
the
crush
spit is
them.
part of the natural immune system.
It's fine with me. I mean, I know that, and you as players know that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Pyron and Beckney have figured that one out.
I think Beckney's not super keen on like blehing into another, creature's mouth, because they've been on the receiving end and it was awful. So I think they're probably like trying to mash stuff with like two rocks, and it's not going super well. Maybe just with their hands, and then just kind of like squeezing it.
Well, I mean, you could make a hand, like you could use your magic to make some sort of arm
Oh
that
no!
has like a little crusher arm.
I just thought of something. I'm gonna make like a little conveyor belt with rocks that like through it, and then it's gonna go into like a piping bag, like an icing piping bag. It's just gonna be really rough, like out of wood, but yeah, it's just gonna crush it all up and then try to squeeze it out through the.
The baby's
bag.
skeptical of this, but does appreciate being fed. So
Okay.
I think the noise of the rocks is a little strange to the
For
baby,
sure.
but Lime Bug is chilling with food.
Okay. Yeah, like food is food. At some point, you'll
Right.
realize like that's fine.
So Pyron, once you get away from this baby, what do you do?
I wish I had a better answer than pout. but he's kind of
no, I love that.
he's kind of just like sulking as far on the I imagine a circle, and once the baby no longer is actively like in need of him, he kind of moves as far along the circle as he can. And then he still feels the baby, he did not like the baby, but it took his mind off of how much he thinks he sucks right now,
Yep.
which was a nice distraction.
It's nice to be wanted.
So I have a kind of a question. We know that Sage and Fen are the oldest of the group. Who is the youngest?
I mean, we'd probably have to go into months because I think
Or
Pyron
even
and
just like
Becky at least are
vibes
14.
based, because Sage and Fen are 15. And is everybody else 14?
I think so.
Pardon
me, sorry.
Callie's like, I want to say she was 15 or 16, but.
Did you write it on your sheet?
I did not. I know I wrote it down somewhere. I just don't remember where. I'm gonna see if it's
You
in
should-
the Discord channel.
Oh, it might be.
Because I know I talked about like how old she is and stuff at some in
'Cause
some place.
Because if Pyron's used to being the youngest.
I think
Pyron
Pyron just,
definitely has the youngest vibe to me.
Pyron just feels like he got more attention as a kid, not necessarily younger. Like he just feels like the favored.
Well, he's
kid more than
totally
anything.
spoiled, and you guys have had, whereas Veshna has been, slinging drinks and washing dishes since she was like 6.
Right.
You guys have had Larkin and Duncan and Toots and everybody take care of you. And when you're naughty, you have to do reports.
Yeah.
Right? Sage. Yeah, everybody else, Sage, Fen, Callie, and Veshna all have had to work.
What's
as
the
part of
term
their-
I'm looking for? Sheltered.
Sheltered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the word. Yeah.
Right. And I think Beckney
Sure.
and Pyron are probably right about the same age.
I
Yeah.
imagine that Pyron has been treated younger than the other children have been treated.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Beckney as well. Until like, oof.
Yeah. Well, and I think, and that's something that happens, it's very clearly happens with middle schoolers too, is the kind of the late bloomers sometimes end up being treated really young, and the early bloomers end up being treated older because they look so much older.
Yeah, or
Right,
they
so
act like, yeah.
So like Callie, I feel like also being sort of like big and strong and a farm gal has had to do that work, and Beckney is tiny and
And has really no responsibility.
right. So Yeah.
I can't find it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Callie's at least 15.
that being said, I do think that Sage and Fen probably give the oldest vibe.
I feel like Finn's age is kind of a little bit of a question mark because
I mean, it's relative.
it's not really
relative age.
not really sure how long Finn was around before they found Bubbles protecting them.
Yeah, and time in this case seems a little more fluid for Fen.
Mm-hmm. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
It was good. That was good.
That's good. So we did not hear from Veshna about what Veshna's doing. Is Veshna also pouting? Are
I
Veshna
think
and Veshna pouting together?
no, I think that Veshna is more like she kind of looks around and she sees that like Pyron and Beckney, because it's like like a kid's perception, right? She sees like Pyron and Beckney are successfully doing a thing. Fen is successfully doing a thing, and Callie and Sage are successfully doing a thing. And I think that like because so much of where she is successful is very much like in town, I think she's kind of like, well, I can't use my magic because it's stupid and useless, and I'm stupid and useless, and I don't know shit about babies. And so I feel like she's just kind of like spreading out like like some sort of cloth and maybe like up against a tree and
I bet
Just
Veshna could
on
make
it
a
and
really
she's-
good fire.
what?
I bet Veshna could make a really good fire.
Yeah, I mean, like I think she's sort of is like puttering, but trying to stay out of everybody's way.
If she's got a second where she's like after like we've set up camp and everything, if we've got time for it, I would love to get a scene with Finn and her.
Yeah, go for it.
I think after Finn spends a little bit of time, like, you know, being in the water, they'll come back out. But their waters kind of mingle, and the water has different stuff, so they don't quite hold together in the same way. Since this isn't quite the fast, this water doesn't feel the same. It's not the same water as Finn is used to. So the river water, you know, it's going to be fast, it's going to be quick, it's going to be clean, and so it's a little bit more lanky of a shape than the one that Finn has now. They're a little bit more shorter and a little bit wider, and with more of the, you can actually see parts of the algae and stuff kind of floating around in them at the moment. And Finn will kind of like try to get over closer to Veshna. Go, does your hand hurt?
And I think without kind of she's gonna kind of pause and look at it, and like it looks like, I'm assuming it probably still looks kind of gnarly because it happened like essentially 45 minutes ago.
Right.
So I think she's like kind of gonna look at it, and like it's clear that she's like favoring it, but it's in her mind like one more thing that like I suck at is like I had to get injured, you know. So she's kind of like, no, you know, no, it's good. You know, just yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine tomorrow, or whenever.
I think I might be able to help a little bit if you're okay.
I
don't know.
I think like because it's like she's been trying to do stuff with it to prove how fine it is. It's very clear that it's like really not fine because she's like, look at all the dexterity I have. So like it's pretty clear that it's like not fine, and I imagine it looks real gross. Like it's not necessarily like necrotized, but it's like pretty bad. So I think she kind of like looks at it, and it's like weighing in her head like the fear that her hand is gonna fall off in the middle of the night, and then then you know, like I don't have Beckney's magic, so I won't even be able to do anything about it. Like, and then she's kind of like, sure. Do you have like a salve or like?
Can I just say that I also though think that the idea of giving your hand to Fen is probably really closely weighed with it necrotizing and falling.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is literally like it is a simple majority, right? 50% of the governing body plus one. You know what I mean? Like there's no like we don't have any, like thankfully we had a quorum for today's meeting. So I think that she kind of is like, yeah, if you have something, I didn't and she kind of like realized about Fen packing a bag. Like I think she's gonna kind of look, because she's trying to come up with any reason to not give him her hand. So she's like, yeah, if you brought something.
Yeah, if you just want to put your just lay your hand flat on the ground, I think I can maybe help a little bit.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think she's gonna kind of like, while looking, kind of like how I do if I have to get a blood test, right? She's gonna kind of like put her hand, and I haven't decided if her face is furry or not, or if she just had kind of like fox ears in the hair, but she is like tomato red. Like she is just like, I think her great grandmother from beyond the grave is blushing. Like it's just like her 36 great grandchildren will be born blushing.
Right.
Like permanent blood pressure damage.
So Finn's gonna, you know, you might see like the over in kind of an armed like appendage. Might see like the little bubbles start to pop up again, like they did when we were going for the jackfruit, or not the jackfruit. The I forgot the name of it. Candy fruit. Yeah. And Finn will just kind of put the now like not ice cold but much cooler, just like lay like a blanket of water over the over Veshna's hand and just like not really say anything for a minute, and just real quietly kind of go, I didn't know their name, but I called them Argyle. And that's one more thing that's not the same after today.
She's gonna kind of like, I think that the like Harriet the Spy like information, right? Like she's gonna kind of like tilt her head and kind of like look over in his direction, because player IC historian doesn't really know what that means.
Finn is referring to the Lacroca. Lacroca.
Oh.
Lucrocata. Yes.
Lucrocata, that's it. Yes, that word. Yeah.
Because player IC historian will remember that the Lucrocata has poked its head in the hole before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
because Finn shouted we had an agreement when it fell in.
Okay. Yep. All right. Now my brain is caught up with now. And I think she's gonna kind of like slide like a sidelong look at Finn for like a hot minute, and she's gonna kind of say, I wish I had known their name too. And then she kind of shrugs awkwardly like the other shoulder and says like, it's nice that someone knew them. It's nice that you knew them.
I hope so. It doesn't feel very nice right now.
Nope. Nope.
And I feel like the camera pans over to Sage, giving a very detailed explanation of what plants are edible and what ones are not, to Callie, who is sitting there staring at them and completely not getting any of it and just nodding and be like, like,
yeah,
would Callie be
talking.
How hard would Callie be trying?
Oh, very hard. She doesn't really know how to read, so she's not taking notes. But she is like repeating a lot of things back to Sage. And just, yeah, you know, the hard eyes, like, listening to everything that Sage is saying and trying really hard to remember a lot of it, and is actually interested in the information as well.
Sage is just really excitedly, anytime they see something new, being like, oh, and this one is great for this. This is what its name is, and it's really good for this particular thing. If you crush it, it makes a wonderful paste that you can spread on bread, actually. It's just like going off. Sage is so excited to be able to like tell somebody else about plants.
And Callie is just like 100% there for like the passion and excitement, is just eating it up, just enjoying letting Sage be excited and share this stuff. And yeah, she probably doesn't quite follow a lot of it, but like anything that's like, you can eat this, she's like that she remembers. Like, don't eat this, do eat that.
And like, obviously, Sage is like piling certain really good edible foods into Callie's arms. Like, in this one, we'll take this one, and then we can have this one with breakfast, maybe.
And Callie's just like, you know, holding it all like bundled in her arms, and then occasionally like eating one. and then like she'll try to help too, and like grab a berry or a mushroom or something like that, and be like, is this the right one?
And like anytime you grab one that is good, Sage is like, that's awesome, you did great, that one's fantastic for this.
And it's like telling a puppy that they're a good dog. Like, that's the reaction. Callie's just like
So
over the
cute.
moon. And probably will like offer to like feed Sage one every once in a while too when she picks the right one.
Sure. Sage is just like hold out their hand.
Yeah.
I sort of like
Here you
this
go.
like pan out on the scene where there's like some fields going on. Becky's taking care of a baby. Sage and Callie are like sort of cavorting in the woods. Byron's having emo feels by himself,
Yep.
which is the most middle school thing of all. So,
It's the full span of youth emotions right here.
right there,
Oh,
all
man.
of them.
Yeah, I remember feeding a baby when I was 14. That's a common emotion.
Yeah.
We did have to take home from health
tried to
class.
vomit bugs into
Religion?
a child's mouth.
I never had to take that baby home, and I'm so glad.
I swear to God, I turned it off by accident, but
Mhm.
they still gave me full grades.
Of course
Like-
they did, because they couldn't do anything else.
How they said, oh, it was
We
great.
had to take an egg home and take
Oh,
I
over
would have
the
loved
egg.
an egg.
But we also were all in geometry. This is in 8th grade. There were a bunch of us in geometry, and we were doing the thing with a compass, and we
Oh,
really got
yeah.
into murdering each other's children. So you could like turn around, and there'd be a compass in your egg baby's head, and you're like, yeah. And then you just have to go home and get a new baby. I mean, all eggs look basically the same.
Wow.
I'm never in my life going to understand how a bunch of people sat around a table but were like, yeah, I mean, this is a good idea. This is a good educational experience for children.
100%.
Well, and to be fair, Beckney, that is the age where a lot of people do a lot of babysitting.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot.
We
That's
had
true, I
these
did
like
actually-
really high tech
sit, yeah.
babies.
Yeah.
Like
they
Right.
were
fake
awful.
fake plastic babies that actually
They
cried.
screamed.
Oh my god, they were terrible.
Terrifying.
I basically was like Calvin as a kid, so I had a stuffed animal that I just took everywhere anyways, and took care of, so like I didn't even need to do that. Like that pretty much was my version of that.
All right, so we're going to close out here. We're gonna let everybody rest. So please rest, and heal yourselves for and get ready for whatever adventures lie to the north. And hopefully we'll be able to rest through the night with Lime Bug.
Unlikely with a baby.
I don't know, maybe goblin babies are good sleepers when they have full stomachs of bugs.
Oh, one last thing. So if the baby does get like restless and like start crying or stuff like that, at some point in the evening, Callie will like pick it up, and then just like hang by her tail off of a branch and swing back and forth, like a baby swing, but it's just
Yeah.
her.
Love that. I also feel like you could put the baby in the water and Zan could rock the baby without actually letting it go in the water.
At some point,
I mean, we're not like drowning the baby.
No, for sure. We're just giving you new
The
frog
look on some of your
friends.
It would
faces.
definitely
Like-
get frogs on it, though. 100%. It might develop a taste for frogs. I don't know if we can afford that kind of lifestyle now that we're raising a youngin, but
That's
my
It's got a
God.
taste
Just-
for frogs.
I'm so
I just had
excited
a mental
for
image.
Go ahead.
Baby Yoda with the frogs. This goblin.
Oh, no.
Same thing.
Same hat.
I really love the idea of us getting to explore the 6 different ways our characters parent.
Me too.
Beckney is totally the kind of parent that's like, they'll figure it out. I'll go when they scream they're hungry. I turned out fine. Like, Yeah, let them roll. Just roll them down the hill. That's natural, isn't it?
Of all the
It's natural
things-
for goblins.
That I
Well,
could have
for-
expected when starting a high fantasy tweens living in a small town. Finding a baby was
Believe-
not one of them.
Believe me when I said that Calliope messaged me and said it sounds like a baby goblin. I was like, oh, I hate this. I hate everybody.
As soon as she said baby, I was like, "Welp!"
Here we go.
Veshna throws herself off of a cliff into the nearest fire in a pit of spikes.
As
and
I
then I had
said
to remember,
in
Beckney
chat,
was abandoned. So I was like, okay, makes sense, I guess. But go ahead, sorry.
a family can sometimes be a monkey girl, a fox girl, a goblin, living water, an anthropomorphic pangolin, a fawn, and the baby they found in the woods.
Well,
Like I said, I didn't know that Stand By Me and 3 Men and a Baby were in a shared universe.
With eight great aunties or uncles. I don't know, there isn't a good gender neutral term for uncle.
Yeah, for like a
there's nibblings, which is for
There is, but
which
for,
is
like,
the
the
gender
sibling
neutral
of a
term for
parent.
niece and nephew. But I don't.
yeah, like I don't know what the uncle aunt gender
Well,
neutral
because
is.
I mean, some trees do have genders.
The
That's
cool
why
relative, I
some
think,
Pico
is
trees are stinky.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's true.
the fun relative.
So, but
I think
yeah,
Callie is definitely like the cool parent, and then when there's a problem, she's just like holding the kid out as far away from her as possible towards Sage or Veshna, and being
Yep.
like, "It's making the noise again. Can you fix it?"
You gotta spit bugs in its mouth.
Can we need to move past that at one point. We have to weed it off the bug. Blech.
Gotta make it true.
It has to learn.
Anyway, we should probably get to the end of the thing segment.
yes. So I think as the sun goes down, we see our little family sorting themselves out by the pool of water. There's probably a lot of frogs singing. And if Veshna has anything to do with it, maybe they're really singing in a Pyren. Maybe there'll be some sort of really amazing singing show later. But yes, so we'll leave it there, and next week we will trudge north and see what could possibly be more exciting than a completely bloodletted body and a baby. One day we'll find out.
Obviously, hand holding.
Right.
Did Fen heal Veshna's hand?
I did. I don't know.
would
Did
say
I?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. I would say I think we'll just go. I think yes.
Okay.
Between the
cool.
rest and the hand holding, I think there's some healing.
Or
What better
people putting
healing is
labels
there
on
than
it?
hand
Okay.
holding?
It's true.
Great. Cool. I'm gonna slink away.
Yeah, next week, maybe hand holding and possibly even cuddling. Scandalous.
Big
Not
gasp.
on my Christian Minecraft server.
Okay, so I have a fun one
That
little.
was just
that-
chef's kiss timing.
So I am officiating a wedding this weekend,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I have joined the Universal Life Church because that's the way you get around archaic and racist and homophobic laws about who can and cannot officiate marriages in states. And so I have been starting horrible things that I say with as a woman of the cloth. And I also refer to myself as an ordained minister of the Church of Our Lady of the Malicious Compliance. And it is worth every penny that I had to pay for that certificate. Every single one of them. It's been great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. I'm thinking of putting it in my email signature and waiting for one of my coworkers to be like, really? And I'm just really
Good.
excited.
It's very good.
Oh, I
Speaking
enjoy
of
that.
work, I do have to wrap up because I have to go
Yeah.
and write some speeches for tomorrow that I that just
Awesome.
fell into my inbox in the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, so we're going to go on a raid here in just a second. Before we do, I'm going to let everyone real quickly say what their favorite part was, where we can find them, and anything they want to share or plug. We'll go reverse order from how we started. So Calliope, you're up first.
So I'm Calliope. I'm super, super excited about our Gaming the Systems starting next Monday at 7:30 Eastern Time, where we go through 10 different RPG systems in 10 weeks, and it's going to be a really good time. I liked a lot of things about this episode. I think that I liked the equal horror given to the baby and the terribly disgusting body. But I think my very favorite thing was reimagining what dryads would really look like. I like my sort of horror dryads.
Those were awesome.
And good job, everyone. This was a nice episode for some character development.
Heck yeah. Hannah, same questions.
I'm gonna have to give it to like Calliope's rendition of the dryads. I loved the way they spoke. I love that like impossibly old feel. It really came across and like was really cool and otherworldly, and I loved it. As for where you can find me next, we're actually not on this week for Neon Devils 2, correct?
Oh, you're right, we're not.
Because Yaz is out of town.
Yeah.
So I will be back here this same show next week, and I will miss you all dearly until then.
All right. Pat, same questions. Favorite part, where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Favorite part, I've got kind of two. So the first was just, there was a moment where Fen was like, didn't playing music go really bad last time? And just like the emotional crushing of Pyron that happened in that moment, like in my head was like, yep, no, that was just me doing it. But besides besides my character's hurt, my favorite bit was essentially both Beckany and Veshna, just kind of the dialogue around the baby and like the not fair talk. And yeah. Sorry, I'm tired and just mumbling now, but y'all got it.
You're good. I think most of us are in the same boat, if not all of us. You're good. Jay, same questions.
I don't know. I think, like my brain had so many of them, and then you said my name, and it was like, oh, is it bedtime? It's probably. Oh, I think the dryads. I think the dryads are what really sold it for me. Not only because they were so unfailingly polite, because they were, like, as in their own way, they were unfailingly just like, hey, this baby's gonna die, can you take care of it? We are not equipped. But also like polite in that way that people know they're being polite, but they're still being rude because it's like a cultural norm. And I love that they just stuck to that. They were like, yeah, like sometimes seedlings just die. There's not enough space for them. It's like, people, you don't just do that. They're like, no, that's just how dirt works. So I thought that was really cool. And then I liked seeing the way everyone else reacted to the baby, because I just immediately was like, Beckany's not going to let this kid out of their sight. But seeing how everyone else at like 14, because I know me at 14, it's not how I would handle a baby. I wouldn't handle the baby. I would leave. So it was really cool to see that. Where you can find me next will be on Saturday at 6 Mountain Time for Animus Absentus, which is... I really hope it doesn't take us an hour and a half to figure out what we're doing next time, because we spent at least half of the session trying to figure out how to fake our own deaths, blow up the ship, and steal a new ship all in one go. And we didn't do that. So tune in next time for We Don't Make Up Our Minds Quickly.
I mean, to be fair, it's been like 46 episodes or so of actually doing a pretty good job making a plan. So like, one episode out of 40 something, you just get stuck
No, it's all
overthinking
it's all
it.
in the trash now. It's all downhill from here, Raven.
I think you're fine. It was entertaining to watch. Oh goodness. But I see. Same questions. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share, plug?
Oh, geez. Well, I have two. So obviously, I have three, but we've talked about the dryads. I think that my favorite part was, seeing not a crack begin to show, but like seeing the differences between how Pyron envisions Beckney and Pyron's life together and how Beckney envisions Beckney and Pyron's life together. And then the sort of like that from like a sort of balcony perspective, and from sort of being in it, the idea of young people learning sometimes for the first time that like sometimes the way things are is like cruel and scary and sad, and that it's not an issue of fair and unfair because like it just is, like it is. And it's an interesting it's interesting to be going through that like mechanically during this show as an adult and thinking about how a child would think about that. And that's been really cool. And yeah, that I think was something that's really interesting. And I'm fascinated by this, how this baby situation is going to work out, because much like my friend Jay, player IC historian and character Veshna do not have the same thoughts on baby. So I'm going to be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, Callie is way more cool with this kid than I would be. All right.
But, oh, sorry. Where I'm going to be next is gaming the system on Monday, because I am taking a week off of the thing that Pat didn't plug, which is Urban Shadows on Pat's channel on Sundays, and I will not be there for that. So.
To be fair, I literally forgot to plug everything at the end of my stuff.
And Pat is also doing a cool thing that Zan's also involved in, and I'm going to plug everybody else's stuff. Jay's being awesome. Hannah is doing cool fawn makeup. Raven, I don't know what Raven does. I don't know. I've often said that Raven should start a Twitch channel, but like, I don't know. And Calliope's just going to, get a PhD or whatever. No bigs. So there's and Zan is just gonna say stuff after me. But that's gonna happen. There's all the plugs.
Awesome. Speaking of Zan, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
So my favorite part, I've actually got two favorite parts, and they're my favorite for very different reasons. One of them is just especially like the last scene, seeing how all of our characters are coping with what was a traumatic day. Like, will be a day that I assume that none of our characters are ever going to forget forever. We are all, as of today, trauma bonded. Congratulations. And I'm really loving to see how like all of our characters are processing that, whether they're picking up responsibility or shirking responsibility or looking for distractions, or like I'm just really excited to see the choices that everybody's making with their character, because it always is just the best to watch. And just fucking shout out to the GM, because about half the shit that comes out of my mouth before the game starts, I do not check with Calliope about. So like huge props, Calliope, for just rolling with the world building and stuff at every fucking turn, because that is what makes games so fun for me. Like I absolutely adore it. I love that flexibility and the quick thinking and like the willingness to play. It is, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. Because the whole like gifts to the dryads was complete impromptu on the spot. It was and then shit hit the fan. So it was just beautiful. And yeah, I'm Zan, Xanady TTRPG or Xanady Gaming, depending on how you find me. I am everywhere doing everything at the moment for the foreseeable future. I am on Tuesday and Friday mornings over on Polished Cryptids channel. I'm here now and a while ago. Over on the Tactics channel, I've got the Urban Shadows game that was mentioned, and I had some beautiful character art for my character Yugen S. Graver that posted today, and he's delightful with some excellent art done by my friend Persephone, who is at Wimp, WHHHIMP, over on Twitter. You should definitely check them out. They are absolutely top tier. And yeah, I've also goodness. Starting this Monday, like Calliope mentioned, we're starting her PhD, her streamed PhD thing, and I'm going to be running the first game in the anthology, and we'll be doing like a 1980s neon arcade eldritch horror one shot of Monster of the Week. And on Wednesday, we'll be doing our session 0 for the 90s like Saban Entertainment style. They came from Beneath the Sea 3-shot that I'll be running over on a Tactics channel, or after we, get the cast all together, have a good conversation about what we're expecting from the game and the directions that we want it to go. We'll have a title, and we'll start introducing the cast and characters next week. Probably look for the first one around Friday, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. And I've got Friday. I've also got the finale over on Penny Four Tales channel of a 4-shot of horror on the Buffalo River using Call of Cthulhu. I'm set in like 1920s Arkansas. It's a lot of fun because I'm the only person from the South that knows what a crawdad is in that game. So it's a weird situation, and man, I am in way too much stuff at the moment. So I'm gonna stop talking.
All right. My favorite part. The Dryads, yeah, were really cool. I also kind of enjoyed everybody's reaction to the beginning with the thing what's name I can never remember. That one. That was neat. Seeing the different reactions, and I enjoyed the interaction with Callie and Sage there as well, which was a little bit different. And yeah, pretty much just everybody's reactions to things over the course of the episode. It's probably my favorite part. And I feel for Pyron right now. Oh, goodness. But yeah, I'm excited for next week to see what happens next and how we deal with having a baby. Where you can find me next will be... Today is Tuesday. I'm not sure if we're doing Exodus tomorrow because we do have somebody that's out of town. So TBA on if that's happening tomorrow or not. Check Twitter tomorrow and I will let you know. But if not tomorrow night, then Thursday for Animus Absentus, our Star Wars show where...
Do you mean Elite Bebeskar?
What did I say?
You said Animus Absentus.
Elite Bebeskar, yeah, that one. I am very tired. Elite Bebeskar, yeah, our Star Wars game. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We've almost taken over a Star Destroyer. There's a few baddies left to deal with. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And then other stuff to share or plug, which is probably why I said Animus. I do have something to share, with not a whole lot of details, but I am working on a very large Animus project that will be a lot. So I will share more about that when I can, but it's going to be more expansive than just Animus Absentus. So yeah, stay tuned for more info on that. And then other things to share or plug is our sponsors, which I will get the links into chat. Fundamental RPG. It's what Animus and this game both run on, as well as Welcome to Madison, our Friday night game, and Blackfeather Paranormal Investigations, which will be on Wednesdays once Exodus is finished up. It's a really cool D20 system. As you can see, you can run anything from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between. You can pick up your copy on Amazon if you want the physical book, or if you prefer the digital version, you can pick that up at coffee.com/raven. Like it says at the bottom of the screen, if you add /shop to the end, it'll take you directly to the store, or you can just check out the coffee page in general. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, including Intrepid, which is another sponsor. It's adventuring gear for real life, apparel and drinkware and accessories and other cool stuff with a tabletop theme. You can check all that out. And then finally Die Hard Dice, which they make some really awesome metal and polymer dice and a bunch of accessories and dice adjacent things as well. They recently sent me this really cool metal Spellbinder Fey Queen set, which is my absolute favorite set out of the ones that I own. And I have a lot of dice, so that's saying something. You can pick up your own set at dieharddice.com. And if you use the code BlackFeatherJune, all one word, capital B, capital J, you can get 10% off your entire order. And then finally, if you want to catch up on this show or any other show that we have or have had on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. And you can check all of those VODs out for free. I think that is everything. So we're going to go on a raid cry. Let me get that into chat here. If
Got you.
this will cooperate with me. Oh, did you already get it in there?
Yeah, I went back and got it a while ago.
Oh,
Oh, you're doing the bugs one instead of the baby one.
either one. They're both great. Grab one of those out of chat and take it with you as we go raid Nerdsmith. They're doing some, looks like D&D over there. It's a great group. I highly recommend giving them a follow if you're not doing so already. I've done some stuff with them in the past, and they're just fantastic people. So yeah, go say hello, and then I will see you all, if not tomorrow, Thursday. Bye, everybody.